Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What if the greatest enemy standing between you and your dreams is not poverty, not failure, not rejection, but the voice on your inside? Every day, somebody loses a battle. Nobody else sees it. Tonight, let's talk about how to win the battle within. Young adults and teenagers, listen carefully because what I am about to share may change the direction of your life forever. Many people think life is a battle against circumstances, against critics, against competition, or against bad luck. But the truth is that the toughest battle you will ever fight is the battle that takes place inside your own mind. I want to tell you a story about a young black American teenager named Kingsley. Kingsley grew up in a neighborhood where broken dreams were more common than success stories. Every day he saw people quit on their goals. Every day he heard someone say, "Life isn't fair." Slowly, those words became the soundtrack of his life. Kingsley was intelligent, talented, and hardworking, but there was one problem. He didn't believe in himself. Every opportunity that came his way was met by fear. Every dream he imagined was attacked by doubt. Every goal he set was destroyed by the voice inside his head saying, "You are not good enough." How many of you know that voice? The voice that tells you to give up before you even start. The voice that reminds you of every mistake you have ever made. The voice that whispers that everyone else is better than you. The voice that turns possibility into impossibility before the race even begins. One day Kingsley was selected to represent his school at a statewide academic competition. His teachers believed in him. His friends believed in him. Even his family believed in him. But Kingsley did not believe in himself. While everyone else saw potential, he saw limitations. The night before the competition, Kingsley sat alone in his room staring at the ceiling. Fear wrapped itself around his heart. His hands trembled. His thoughts raced. He imagined failing. He imagined embarrassment. He imagined disappointment. Long before the competition started, he had already lost the battle inside his mind. The next morning he arrived at the competition venue carrying something heavier than a backpack. He carried insecurity. He carried self-doubt. He carried fear. And no matter how talented a person may be, when fear controls the mind, potential becomes imprisoned. As Kingsley waited for his turn, he noticed an elderly janitor quietly sweeping the hallway. The old man watched Kingsley pacing back and forth. Finally, he approached him and asked, "Son, why do you look like you're carrying the weight of the world?" Kingsley explained everything. He spoke about his fears. He spoke about his doubts. He spoke about the pressure he felt. The old man listened carefully and then smiled. What he said next would change Kingsley forever. The janitor said, "Young man, there are two wolves living inside every person. One wolf is fear, doubt, jealousy, insecurity, anger, and excuses. The other wolf is courage, confidence, discipline, faith, and determination. Every day those wolves fight for control." Kingsley looked at him and asked, "Which wolf wins?" The old man leaned on his broom and replied, "The one you feed." Those words hit Kingsley like lightning. Suddenly he realized that every day he had been feeding fear. He had been feeding excuses. He had been feeding insecurity. He had been giving energy to the very things that were destroying his confidence. Young people, hear me today. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant fear, fear grows. If you plant confidence, confidence grows. If you plant excuses, excuses grow. If you plant discipline, discipline grows. The quality of your life is often determined by what you repeatedly feed your mind. Kingsley walked into that competition with a different perspective. He stopped focusing on failure. He stopped focusing on what could go wrong. He stopped feeding the wolf of doubt. Instead, he chose to focus on preparation, effort, and possibility. Did fear disappear completely? No. Fear was still there. But courage showed up too. And that is something many people misunderstand. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Courage is acting while your knees shake. Courage is believing while uncertainty surrounds you. When Kingsley finally stood before the judges, his heart pounded loudly. Yet he remembered the janitor's words. He remembered which wolf he wanted to feed. Instead of listening to fear, he listened to faith. Instead of surrendering to doubt, he trusted his preparation. Hours later, the results were announced. Kingsley did not finish first. He did not break any records. But something far more important happened. For the first time in his life, he defeated the voice that had been defeating him. For the first time, he proved to himself that fear did not have the final word. Sometimes victory is not a trophy. Sometimes victory is showing up. Sometimes victory is trying again after rejection. Sometimes victory is refusing to quit when life hurts. Sometimes victory is getting out of bed when your heart feels heavy with disappointment. Many young people today are silently fighting emotional battles. Some are carrying rejection. Some are carrying loneliness. Some are carrying the pain of being underestimated. Some are carrying wounds from words spoken years ago. The smiles people see do not always reveal the battles happening inside. I know what it feels like when nobody understands your struggle. I know what it feels like when you question your worth. But hear me clearly. Your current feelings are not your permanent destination. There is an African proverb that says, however long the night, the dawn will break. Your difficult season will not last forever. Your storm will not last forever. Your pain will not last forever. But you must survive long enough to see the sunrise. The greatest prison in the world is not made of steel bars. The greatest prison is a mind trapped by fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs. The moment you change your thinking, you begin changing your future. The moment you believe differently, you begin acting differently. Some of you are waiting for confidence before you start. But confidence comes after action, not before it. Some of you are waiting for the perfect moment. But there is no perfect moment. Some of you are waiting until fear disappears. But fear often leaves only after courage arrives. Remember this lesson. Kingsley changed when he changed what he fed. Remember it again. Kingsley changed when he changed what he fed. And remember it one more time. Kingsley changed when he changed what he fed. Because what you feed grows, and what you starve dies. Every morning you wake up, the battle begins again. Fear says quit. Courage says continue. Doubt says impossible. Faith says possible. Excuses say tomorrow. Discipline says today. The battle never stops, but neither does your ability to choose which voice you will follow. So I challenge every teenager and young adult listening to me today. Stop feeding insecurity. Stop feeding fear. Stop feeding excuses. Start feeding courage. Start feeding discipline. Start feeding belief. Start feeding the version of yourself that your future depends upon. One day people will look at your success and think it happened overnight. They will never see the private battles you fought. They will never see the tears you cried. They will never see the moments when quitting felt easier than continuing. But you will know. You will remember the battle within. And when that day comes, you will stand taller, not because life became easy, but because you became stronger. Not because fear disappeared, but because courage grew larger. Not because challenges vanished, but because you learned to win the battle within. Before I leave this stage, I want you to answer this. What is the biggest battle you are fighting inside your mind right now? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it rejection? Is it insecurity? Share it below, because someone listening today may discover they are not fighting alone. And if this message touched your heart, say these words. Today, I choose to feed courage.